What up, everybody? We are live here at Sports with Facts. Sorry for the little delay. Took me like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to figure this shit out. I had to change webcams. Just a bunch of bullshit. Does anybody know how I can get this link into Twitter? What up, Nick? What up, Julian? Dickheads. Seriously though, anybody that joined, do they know how I could post a link onto Twitter here? Do I just grab the link, copy, paste? Is it that simple? Anyone? Bueller? There you go, Travis. You see, life isn't that hard. All right. How's everybody's day going today? Good? Yeah, seriously though, guys. Who faded my dad and who actually played the game? Because I'm looking at the score, 4-1. I don't want to mush him, but game's actually looking good for a change. It's good to see that poor guy win. Just give me 1 second. Let me post this on the Twitter like a degenerate. Imagine if I knew my password. Oh, this fucking bullshit. You know what the sad part is? Like, I do a lot of work in technology, and I still can't figure this dumbass shit out. All right, so awesome. Thanks for stopping in, folks. This is a bit I just sit here drinking. Yeah, imagine. So how do we want to start this? Okay, we'll start this with introductions. I see a bunch of you guys already introduced yourselves. Here's going to be protocol. It's name, social security number, and dick size. Dick size is non-erect dick size because that's just not even fair. And if you're black, you're not in this contest because that's also not fair. So again, let's start posting some social security numbers, non-erect dick sizes. Also brought some special tools for everybody. As you can see, Pepto-Bismol. Hopefully we got a few watchers from the owners of Pepto-Bismol because I could really use some sponsorships there. Would just really be nice. And also for those that maybe had a few bad beats today, Vaseline. I have a ton of these. You know, you just really never know. You really never know when you're going to be stuck in a sticky situation. It's just better off to have it than to not. That's just kind of how I roll. I mean, you know, to be honest, actually, the wife, she uses the petroleum jelly a lot more than I do. So what's going on? What do you want to talk about? Let's maybe we'll start with you guys asking some questions. Anything. Just fire away. Do you need that many Vaseline? Look, like I said, you can never have too many. Rusty trombones, imagine. Always need the lube. Yeah, exactly. Lawrence knows the drill. So for tomorrow, MLB. Well, let's start with this. Who do you guys like tomorrow? Anybody do any of their own research for tomorrow yet? Or you guys just kind of degenning the games that are on right now? What up, Bodon? What's up, brother? How are you? Also, I didn't see anybody. I saw one person say that they played Texas first 3. I know you motherfuckers faded my dad tonight. So where are the faders at? Where are the faders? Astros score. Let me put on the gameplay here. Seriously though, do you guys legitimately watch the games on Gamecast? Like, does anybody watch the games on Gamecast? That shit gives me heart palpitations. It's just awful. I hope you guys don't find yourself stuck in like Gamecasts on MLB or ESPN. Like the whole in-play outs, in-play runs thing gives me a heart attack. I just can't do it. Rangers money line. There we go. Rangers. I tell you what, all the people who faded tonight, they're all hiding. It's awful. Come out of your closets. It's not that bad. No one's going to roast you here. Exactly. You know, like when you're watching the game cast and like the ball like shoots to right center and like you don't know if it's a line drive out or like a line drive triple. That's the fucking worst, especially if like the bases are loaded and you have no idea. Jesus. Chris was on Boyd. See, at least somebody says something. At least somebody. See, Chris, I can acknowledge that. That's, you see, Chris stepping up to the plate, being like, "Hey, look, I faded the pops. It's all good. It's all good. No worries." Giants Diamondbacks tomorrow. You know, I looked at a few of the lines. I got to assume it's a short slate tomorrow as well. I got to assume in the early action, a lot of people are going to like Aaron Nola against Wheeler. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that? I see minus 130. I actually have that as a little bit of a lean on Nola, but it's a little. You could argue there's a decent amount of value there on Wheeler as well. What do you guys think on Aaron Nola tomorrow at home against the Mets? Early game, 1 o'clock for those that sleep in. What's up, Rolando? Aruba, nice. Travis, you're talking about Nola is up to minus 142 on FanDuel already. What's up with Jason Vargas? First of all, Jason Vargas is absolute goals. The guy just constantly looks like he's sweating. Like the guy looks like he ran a decathlon. No matter what you see him doing, like if he's pitching the first inning, or if he's pitching the 8th inning, or if he's doing a post-game interview, the guy just constantly is just dripping in sweat. I don't know if he's just drenched in water or what his deal is. But I kind of love the guy. Anybody that's got that dad bod, that guy's just ripping with confidence. 3 ways. There you go, Bodon. JJ Gar, you're not a big fan of Wheeler tomorrow? Phillies are starting to hit a bit. Wheeler has been inconsistent, though, Mike. You're completely right. Wheeler loses every week. Yeah. See that? So interesting today. I'll tell you a quick tidbit. Actually, I got 2 of them. I was in the office today, and my boss, he has he had a coaster on his desk, and we always bullshit with him. He's actually the president of the company. We always bullshit back and forth. He had a coaster on his desk. He's a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan, so we're in the middle of a conversation, and I noticed the coaster on his desk, right? And I'm like, you are such a goddamn tool. A Pittsburgh Penguins coaster, fucking loser. He's like this, straight up. My 5-year-old daughter made that for me, you asshole. So I'm like, nah, I don't even know. I don't even know if he's lying to me or if he's like, just trolling the shit out of me or if that really happened. But I really felt like a shithead. I mean, if his 5-year-old daughter really made it for him, I'm sitting here basically dogging it, telling him it looks like shit. And, whatever. Win some, you lose some, folks. It's part of life. Rick Stone, you're at Willowbrook tonight? For those that don't know, Willowbrook is a mall about 5 minutes from my house, pissing distance. Yeah, Chad, I'll have a Sunday night baseball play for you guys. Definitely, for sure. Miguel with the Martingale. Dad can't lose 6 in a row. Easy. I've seen it all. I can promise you it's happened in the past. I've lost 6 in a row. But, Martingale might bail you out here. What are your favorites to look at besides FIP and XFIP? Okay, so if I'm looking at a game, some of the first things I tend to look at, and believe it or not, guys, the first things I look at are ERA. I don't look at ERA with the intention of betting behind ERA, but I look at it because looking at ERA is going to give me kind of a feel for where the market's going to move a number. Because as you guys know, I'm big on the market. Like I give a lot of handicapping information about games, breakdown games, blah, 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 blah. But for me, it's more about projecting the market to try to get you guys the best prices when I do the videos. Because you see, it's hard to do videos the night before. And then if you end up being wrong on where the line's going to move, then I feel like shit because I know that I got you guys a poor number. So my job is first that I do is I look for ERA, really to try to give myself an idea of where the market could be. Then I'll weigh ERA really primarily against Sierra. So I know that, FIP and XFIP are popular, but Sierra is more of it's a more accurate stat on how well a pitcher's going to progress in the future. So for me, I really weigh Sierra, and then I'll go over to FIP and XFIP. Then I like to look at left on base percentage because to me, if you're way high, like look, Davies was high all year. I fucking hate that clown. I'm kind of happy he blew up yesterday. But guys like him, like CC Sabathia, guys that are rocking those high left on base percentages, you definitely want to. I'm not saying. See, this is where problems begin because what happens is you'll kind of like blindly chase a pitcher towards negative regression. Now, you kind of saw me doing that with Davies a little early on. I think early on the plays were doing really well. I mean, the plays have basically been doing well all season, but like I think 3 of the losses early on were against Zach Davies. And, I had people saying to me like, hey, at what point do we just jump off the ship here? And I'm like, well, now we're going to jump off the ship right now. I'm not going to continue to hope for regression. I'm just looking for value where I can find it. And if I can't, then I'll just jump off the ship. Now we jumped back on the ship, fading Davies last night, and it worked out. We would have went 2-0 if Blake Snell actually knew how to pitch anymore. How surprising is that? I mean, AL Cy Young winner, and now people are calling him like a fraud. I mean, give me a break. The guy's legit. Okay, if you look last night as well, a lot of his like base hits that could have got him out of jams were like soft hit grounders that just found holes, or like botched base hits. Or how about with the bases loaded 2 outs? I don't know if you guys are watching the game. Joey Wendell was like afraid of the ball at third base on a line drive right towards his face. You're in the major leagues. I've seen guys in slow pitch softball snag that shit with their bare hands. Guy can't even catch the ball with his glove. He legitimately moved his glove out of the way, covered his face with the glove, and didn't even look at the ball. It was kind of crazy. See, Ray saw it. Ray knows what I'm talking about. Let me ask you this. You guys think somehow, some way, Scherzer ends up on the Yankees this year? Tell you what, the Yankees should make a big push for him. I know the Nats are probably going to want the world, but in a few short weeks, the Nats are going to be drawn dead, and they could use some good bullpen guys. They could use some young guys on that Yankees lineup. And right now, Jesus Christ, Aaron Hicks is hitting 9th. That's where their lineup's at right now. So I definitely think they could afford to give away some of those young guys. Frazier. Speaking of Frazier, who is a worse fielder that you've ever seen, or who's a fielder worse than Clint Frazier? You ever see that guy play the outfield? The guy should be out in right field with a compass in his hand. I mean, he's completely lost on every fly ball he has to track down. He can't find anything. He dove for a ball. I don't know if you guys saw this like 3 weeks ago. Clint Frazier dove for a ball and was still 15 feet away from it. It was some real like blooper shit. Wild. Just completely wild. Let me see here. What do we got? Do I bet tennis like my dad? I probably bet about half as much tennis as my dad does. You need to understand, like, my dad is up at 3 a.m. Okay, he's just a complete whack job. Okay, he goes to sleep at like he takes these like 4-hour power naps. If you want to even call him that, he goes to sleep at like 10. He'll wake up at 2. He drives to the poker room for like 3 hours. Then about 5 a.m. that's when tennis is starting, depending on the country it's in. So he'll be betting tennis probably till he has to wake up my little sister. Then he'll take my sister to school. He comes back home, probably bet some more tennis. Maybe heads over to the poker room. Again, he'll play little craps. But yeah, no, I bet a decent amount of tennis, but I don't bet near as much tennis as he does. I'm never going to be able to bet as much tennis as he does because the guy's just a whack job. What up, Erwin? How are you? Jerry, what's going on, man? Tennis gives me heart attacks. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about heart attacks? How about live betting tennis? There's no sport like it. I used to be on the fence about tennis. I actually used to make fun of people who watch tennis, but I started betting it, or learning from my dad about betting it. And there is no sport with the live swings like tennis. I mean, if you think NBA swings are big with like 8-0 runs, 10-0 runs, there ain't nothing like a tennis swing. How about let a game go to deuce? Let a game go to deuce when it's 5-5 in a set. And watch how quick that line changes as a person has set point break versus break point. It's wild. It's wild. But you can find holes that way. That's why I always tell people, like, look, tennis is a sport you need to be betting. Like, whether you enjoy the sport, you don't enjoy the sport, there is holes to be found in tennis, and more or less on the women's side. And I say on the women's side because the men's side is like, you don't have as many breaks. A lot of big servers on the men's side. But on the women's side, there's breaks all the time. And when those breaks happen, of breaks of serve is what I'm referencing, the lines just make complete swings. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Lots of arbitrage. Exactly. Tennis plus point equals yeah. I could watch a tennis match for an hour and be rock hard the entire hour. Not even joking. Rock hard. Don't even need to see Alice or anything. Just kind of sitting there chilling with a hammer. Football season, yeah. Is MLB and football your main sports? My main sports is really college basketball and college football. I've had a lot of success in NFL as well. I did a few videos earlier in the year kind of showing my success. I enter a bunch of handicapping contests. for football as well. Some high stakes stuff. I can't answer like the Vegas stuff because obviously I wasn't in Vegas, but like Jersey with now being legalized, I'd expect some of those super contests to come here. So I'll be in those. But yeah, no, NFL is good. College football is very good. College basketball is good. For the guys that have been following me since college basketball, they know that record was really good as well. So, yeah, definitely look forward to NFL because we're going to be definitely hitting the ground running there. Jerry and Pops might get a win tonight. I'm looking at the game. It's a commercial. Well, is the score still the same? Texas game? Did you get Syracuse over 5 today? I don't even know what that's referencing. Went all the way to 5.5. The Super 7. Yeah, Chris, I'm going to be in it. What do you think about fading first-year head coaches in college football? I think that's somewhat a coin flip there, Jake. And I think the truth is there, Jake, is that it's really depends. The NFL is a coaches league. I tell this people all the time, like the NFL players, with all due respect, there's talent all over the NFL, but it's a coaches league. It's basically like the coaches are the puppet master, just kind of moving the players up and down, right? The best coaches always make the playoffs every year. People say, like, oh, it's always the best quarterbacks. But no. It's always the best coaches. Who's in the playoffs every year? Sean Payton, Belichick. I know this year Aaron Rodgers didn't make it with McCarthy because Aaron Rodgers is just a gigantic diva. But like every year, it's like the same half of teams are in the Super. Andy Reid's always in the playoffs, even though that guy's a choke job. But he's always in the playoffs. It's a coach's league. Bottom line, don't get me wrong. There's studs. There's players that are above the mean by far, but it's a coach's league. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. The over-under at 5 Syracuse. CBS did an article on the ACC saying that it was nuts, and 5 hours later it's 6. I believe it, Aaron. I want to talk real quick on bad beats. What's funny is like everyone always remembers like their worst beat. Do you guys remember what your best win was that you felt like you shouldn't have had, that won like a decent amount of money? Like anything like that. I'll tell you mine. We were in Vegas, me and my dad. I think the game was Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. I already had 3 legs in on my parlay. And I know you're like, oh, what are you doing betting parlays? You never bet parlays. Well, first of all, like I tell you guys, when you're in Vegas or when you're on vacation or whatever, bet as many parlays as you want. Your goal when you're on vacation is to walk out of that motherfucker with a wheelbarrow. Okay. You want them delivering the chips to you, walking out. You want to be walking out with security guards. That's your goal. Look, when you're doing this long term, obviously you got to be disciplined. But if you're going to go on vacation, act like a degenerate. That's what you're there for. So anyway, parlays. I had a 14 parlay, 3 of them in, and I forgot what the score was. I think I was laying 3. Or I was getting 3. I was getting 3. The one team was up 4, and they had the ball it was 4th down. The team that was up, I think it was Ole Miss, was up 4. You can even look at the game. It was crazy the amount of money that swung in one direction because of the way this ended. It was 4th down. It was like 4th and 8. There was like 7 seconds left, right? And they were up 4 with the ball inside their own 20. Instead of punting the ball, okay, they hike the ball to the punter. And all he does, I swear to God, you can look at the video. He takes the ball and he runs backwards out of the end zone for a safety. Swear to God, runs backwards out of the end zone for a safety as time expires. They win the game, but they win the game by only 2 points. And I cover my +3, hit the round robin, 3s by 4s, winner, chicken dinner. Crazy ending. Do you guys have any of your good stories? Like I said, everybody's always got the bad ones, but I mean, you could go on for hours about that. But anybody got, oh shit, who's calling me? Should I pick this up? It's one of my idiot friends. You know what? Fuck them. You see what I do for you guys? Hung up on a buddy. That's what I'm here for. It was probably for the circle jerk that I have scheduled at 10:30. I'm going to be late to that tonight for sure. Always a good time though. I always advise you guys, you want to join a circle jerk, grab a few 4 or 5 friends, guys with strong hands, like burly motherfuckers, like Paul Bunyan guys, and then just go to town. If that friend mentions Bitcoin, let me know. Bitcoin's gaining steam again, huh? Favorite liquor. I know I joke around, Roll Care. I joke around about, Mike's Hards, and I do occasionally have the Mike's Hard, but my drink is gin and tonic. I'm a gin and tonic guy. I know I drink like I'm an 85-year-old, but that's my go-to. hitting both sides, Dallas and Pittsburgh. I tell you what, Pittsburgh is such a, you know what, Pittsburgh is going to be the true definition if the NFL, or how good of a coach Tomlin is, because obviously you lose your two studs, and Roethlisberger's raping chicks every summer. That guy is so disgusting to me. I just feel like he just ever since his whole rape allegation thing, he's just a disgusting man. But look, the guy's talented. Hopefully Tomlin can figure out a way to turn that team around. But how great is that people are talking about the Browns as like the big favorite in that division? Like, it's crazy how 2 or 3 years can really just turn around an entire franchise. Are you drafting best balls on draft? I haven't done any drafts or mocks yet for fantasy stuff, so I can't speak to that. Do you like watching betting soccer at all? I usually bet European leagues a lot. Jonah, my dad bets a ton of soccer. I can start having him. I could talk to him about him doing some soccer plays. That's, of course, if this baseball play somehow pans out. I'm looking first and second, no out. Here we go. I can promise you this much. My dad is sleeping right now. I know some of you might be thinking he's sitting here sweating this game. I can promise you his ass was in bed at 8 o'clock. He goes to sleep early as hell. I got crazy one. 3-team parlay, all teams named money line totals, and didn't realize I was putting these in parlay cash. Oh, another thing I want to tell you guys. If you make bets by mistake, okay? Like let's talk real quickly, right? You're on the app, right? Or maybe you said your bet to the idiot at the desk and they put the wrong bet in, and then maybe you realize it right before game time. Here's some advice for you. Never retract that bet. You lock it in. There was a reason it happened. I've done this a few times on the app. Sometimes if I'm driving, if I have my phone in my right hand and my hand on my dick and I'm driving the car with like my knees, sometimes I'll click the wrong team. And then what'll happen is I won't even realize. Then I'll go home. I'll just check the bets I have in play. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker, I bet the wrong team. You never retract it. I don't know what my record is on those plays, but it's got to be something silly. It's like 75-4, some shit like that. Like, it was meant to happen. And the games I lost were like on last second buzzer beaters. When you accidentally make a bet on the wrong team, just let it ride. Worst speed was when Gurley fell at the 2-yard line. I'll tell you what, Paulie, people who play daily fantasy sports also took one in the ass as well when Gurley decided to trip up on his cock. I bet my first WNBA game. I'll tell you what, speaking of WNBA, Ski or Hakeem Prophet's going to be on with me tomorrow. Excuse me, I got all the agita. It's probably from the dirt shit protein shake I had before. Hakeem's going to be on with me tomorrow. We're going to talk a bunch of things. It won't be a live video, but I'm going to ask him a bunch of things about Wager Talk, what he's doing. So find out some more info about him. I know sometimes you guys follow people on Twitter and you always get like just a little piece of it. I'm interested to see or find out more about him as well. I've been talking to him offline for a while, so I know you guys will enjoy that video. Do you like betting first inning bets? I do occasionally. For me, Brendan, I'm more of I like to truly handicap. I just feel like first inning bets, there's so much variance in them. You could handicap, like if you find value, I get it. Like my dad bets a ton of first innings, as he mentioned in his videos. But for me, I'm more of a let it ride out. I like first fives in games. The reason why I don't do as many first fives is because I'm dealing with too many different books. Like when I was doing the first fives earlier in these videos, they were doing good. The issue was though that like it was like everybody's getting different lines. Like if you're using a 20 cent book, or maybe you're using a bookie who gives you 40 cent lines where it's like -120 or -125 on both sides, and then first fives they even add extra vig to those. So it's just like I can't find value for everybody in first five bets. That's why I really stopped giving them out. But I can still post them. Like I'll post maybe some first fives on Twitter so that the guys that can take them will grab them. But again, like I find myself answering so many questions about it. Oh wow, yeah, double play for the win. There you go. Now, I bet all the games my dad gives as well. So it's nice to see him grab a win. You know what's crazy is like I know he bets obviously a lot more than he gives out. But it's nice to see him. He goes on a little 4-game bender, and people start jumping off buildings. It's almost like people forget. Like, do you guys remember? I think it was like maybe 9 weeks ago. I think it was like right before the Kentucky Derby where he came on where he started doing the videos again. And during that stretch, I think I was like, I want to say I was like 2-5 over like a 5-day stretch, something like that. And he was 4-0. So like people were telling, like, because my dad came out of the woodworks and people were telling me, they were like, you gotta start going back to those classes with the pops. He knows what he's talking about. And now, I start doing well again, and then he starts faltering, and people are like, "Woof, might be time to hang up the white flag, pops." Or maybe time to shut it down, shut down the operations. You're not what you used to be. But it's crazy. This is what this industry is. It's filled with variance, filled with losses. Don't ever tell yourself any different. But it's good to see him grab a win. Like I said, I can promise you right now, he's sleeping. He's not even awake to enjoy it. But he'll wake up tomorrow morning and he'll do the squeeze. Let me show you what the squeeze is for those that don't know. Okay, you take your phone, right? And the squeeze is, hold on. The squeeze is this. Is like you're looking at the game, trying to get the phone in the camera, which is fucking difficult. The squeeze is this. You're looking at it and you're like this with the thumbs. You kind of slowly go down, right? Right? Like if you bet a home team, right? Like if you bet a home team, you slowly go down and you look at their score. You're like, all right, what the away team do? How many hits? How many errors? Okay, a few errors for the away team. I like that. I like to see that. All right, 7 hits for the away team. All right, this is still doable. How many runs for the away team? 4 runs for the away team. All right, the home team I bet was projected 5.5 runs. Still feeling pretty good. Then you go down to like the error. Then you go down to like the errors for the home team. Then you go to hits. You see the hits. You're like, ooh, 13 hits. Okay, home team has 13 hits. And then you see 3 runs. And then you're like, you cocksucking cunt, 3 fucking runs, 13 hits. You didn't even watch the game, but you're like, I know I was on the right side. 73% on Texas tonight. Chris, are you referencing like the amount of money, the amount of spread bets? Are you going to do videos? Are you going to do videos on research? Oh, yeah. Elevate. I'm definitely going to have videos for you guys on, like research process, things that I begin for baseball. I did a few of them. I know I did some for college. I think I did one for college basketball. I really don't remember, to be honest. But like, how I begin the research process, I think is definitely going to help you guys out. Again, we're all different. Like what I use for me works for me. And you might be thinking, oh, well, I could just do the same thing. Everybody's different. There are certain individuals, or people in this industry that kind of just have almost like a feel. My dad's more of a feel guy. Like you may have seen his videos where like sometimes he'll give you some information, sometimes he won't. But he's more of like a feel guy. Like he's just been watching. He's watched baseball for years. He's bet it for years. He just kind of knows the ins and outs in that. But like he's a feel price guy. Now he won't talk like that, but that's what he is. I'm more of a kind of half feel to begin the research, and then I kind of let the numbers do the rest of the talking for me, because I need to at least have some type of data to back it up. Like, I need something to be able to confirm for me, hey, look, this bet makes sense. And not just because ERA, like a lot of people when they bet baseball, it's all lazy, right? Like it's all lazy handicapping. It's all like, oh, this pitcher's pitching with a 9 ERA on the road against a pitcher with a 3 ERA at home. I only have to lay 140. Easy. I'll bet it. No worries. They don't look at any of the advanced stats. They don't look at, how teams are playing recently. They might not look at like how teams bullpens, I can't think of a bigger year more than this year in particular where bullpens have been a bigger deal. I mean, can you? There's been so many games blown by bullpens. No, I get it. Like it happens every year, but this year it's been like over exaggerated. It's just been completely wild. I use the squeeze maneuver when I quit. Yeah. Well, Sam, that means you're doing a lot of good work. So, and I'll tell you what, if you're using, Sam, I assume male. You got one of those like middle names, like like a Taylor, like a Jesse. It's kind of tough to tell. But Sam, if you're a dude and you're doing the squeeze maneuver on pregnancy tests, I got to probably ask you a few different questions afterwards. So stay online. But if you're a chick and you're doing it, I could see that makes sense. Been fading Davies ever since you first started talking about how he's the luckiest pitcher. Let me tell you something. Plenty of TDs. Okay. Let me tell you something. Plenty of TDs. Zach Davies, without a question in my mind, he wakes up, he shoves like a 6-inch horseshoe up his ass. He finds bird shit on his windshield. He's probably eating a rabbit's foot? Is that what it is? Rabbit's foot? Doesn't sound right. Rabbit's ear. I think it's a rabbit's ear. Rabbit's ear. Yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, he's been extremely lucky. Is it just me? Like, I know I reference this often. That mofo Davies, he legitimately looks like he could be the Monopoly guy's son. Like, if they came out with a new Monopoly, like next generation Monopoly, you could throw a picture of Zach Davies right on the front of the box. No one would ask questions. No one would ask questions. Am I alone here? Anyone? Bueller? All right, Boyd. Boyd, 7 innings pitched, 11 Ks. You know what the big thing on them, Chris, was a lot of pitchers for Detroit, and it goes to show how bad Jordan Zimmerman is. Because Detroit picked up a bunch of catchers this year, and they got a new pitching coach as well. A lot of their numbers were supposed to trend upward for a lot of their pitchers. And the biggest one, of course, is Boyd, whose strikeout numbers are just crazy. Crazy, especially when you talk from last year to this year. But a lot of it, like, people don't realize how important framing is for a pitcher. And it's not even just calling the game. Framing. All right, talk to you later, Rick. Good luck. Wife's calling. Oh, boy. Hope you're not with the girlfriend. Minor bailed out. It's a rabbit's foot. Thank you, Maddie. See, somebody knows. Somebody's smart in this chat. Sam, you're a dude. All right, so Sam, you're sweating pregnancy tests. So, like, the chick is having the pregnancy test and then she's handing it to you to sweat? Like, how is that shit working? Genuinely interested in this. I'm not gonna sleep tonight until I have some answers. And you must be the Monopoly guy. I'll tell you what, you guys want to lose some friends? Play more Monopoly. That's the goal. I must have burned 12 or 13 bridges in my day playing Monopoly. What a world. Going on our third kid. Wow, congrats. Congrats. Where's Pops? He's hot. 1-0. Yeah. Andrew, he'll be back with the Faxman Friday play. So hopefully, hopefully he picks up steam. I'll tell you what, he's gonna, I can promise this because I know him like a book. He's gonna come out and just fire shots at me right away. The fact that he won, he's gonna call me like a motherfucker. It's just what he does. He's just a douchebag. Time to bet the 4 a.m. Korean League of Legends. Yeah, exactly. I mean, ask you guys bet a lot of esports? Esports has been taking I've been going up tremendously in a lot of betting. I was seeing that offshore, it's about to become the 4th biggest handle, which is just wild to me. Wild to me how popular that's gotten. Now, I get it. I'm not saying it's not fun to watch or even maybe fun to bet on, but it's just wild to me how popular that's become. I mean, it's almost up there. If you football, soccer, and I guess basketball would be in there for popular as well all over the world. But then it's getting up there as a 4th best, like, comparable with MLB. It's kind of crazy. Nice, Andrew. Glad he hit that for you. Good value, take a shot, but I always know. Just waiting on Phillies +3. Take it live. Let me ask you something. How often when you guys make bets, I got to be honest, I don't do this myself too often, but like, how often when you guys make bets, let's say you bet, let's say tonight, for instance, with Texas Detroit, game was 4-1. How often if you bet Detroit, do you bet more on Detroit, like as a chase? Or like if you bet Texas, do you come back and hedge the other way with Detroit? Like where's the mindset's at? Because I can tell you where my mindset is. I'm interested to see where you guys are at. Most of the time, I don't know. I just go with my gut. She always wants me to check it first. I like the suspense. I'll tell you what, Sam. I do the squeeze on the games on the phone sometimes, but there ain't no squeeze like a pregnancy test. A lot of respect for you there. Detroit can hit. Well, Andrew, Detroit's one of the worst teams in baseball, so that kind of makes sense. I hedge if I'm ahead the other way. Do you always hedge though? Like for me, I'll tell you what. I'll give you guys what I do. If I go up early in a game, so like if we'll take this game 4-1. Let's say that after the first inning, it was 4-1, right? 4-1 is not a good example because you're only gonna get like you're probably gonna get like plus 400 in that spot. It'd have to be 4-1 like after the third inning. If it's 4-1 after the third inning, you would probably, I don't know what the live bet was, but it probably would have been something like 500, like 5-1 for Detroit. Like you would have got 5-1 back on Detroit. So I would have. Jesus, I'm probably gonna barf on here. I would have taken Detroit at 5-1, hedged backwards for 1/5 of a unit. Now, the reason I do that for a few reasons. Number one, now this is just for me. Again, this is a lot of subjectivity here, but I can just tell you what I do, what I like to do if I'm paying attention, because I'm not always I bet games, and believe it or not, I don't watch all the games I bet. Some of them I do, but or at least a bulk of them I do. But obviously, look, just like anybody else, we all have shit we have to do from time to time. We all get stuck in sticky situations. You guys know what I'm talking about. So let's go back to the example. Sorry, I went off there. Third inning, end of the third inning. It's 4-1. You already bet Texas for a full unit before the game started, and they're up 4-1. Top of the fourth, you can live bet Detroit at plus 5-1. If I'm fully paying attention and I'm like, my head's fully in it, I'll bet Detroit there at 1/5 of a unit. Now, the idea there is that if I get a fist up my ass and Texas ends up losing, I get my money back for that bet. But if Texas ends up winning as they're supposed to, I'll still get 4/5 of a unit. Now, you might be thinking long term. Oh, well, you're dropping 1/5 of a unit. Why would you be doing that? You have a game that's pretty well in hand. You basically were betting a minus 650 favorite. You had a minus 650 favorite. Why would you be betting against yourself in that scenario? And here's my thinking. For me, when I lose a game like that, it's pretty goddamn tilting. I don't know about you guys, but there's a difference in a loss. Like, for instance, and you guys know what I'm talking about. You lose a game in the first inning. Maybe it's a total. Maybe you bet a total of 9, and there was 27 runs in the first inning. Okay, maybe a little extensive. But you bet a total of 9, 27 runs get scored in the first inning. Game's 14-13 at the end of the first inning. You're not really tilted, right? I mean, you lost the game. It wasn't a sweat. You lost the game on the ninth, on the 18th pitch of the first inning. You lost the game over. You're not really sweating it. But now, when you go up in a game like 6-1, and then you end up losing it, right? Boy, is that tilting. Why is it tilting? Because you've already established in your head that money's in your account. Like you've already won, right? Like you're thinking, where's that money going, right? Like maybe it's going to drugs, right? Or maybe it's going to a hooker, right? Or maybe you want to bet European basketball at 4 a.m. Or maybe you want to bet a women's tennis match at 5 a.m. Doesn't matter. It's going somewhere, right? In your mind, you're already spending it. So now when you don't have it, now you're like, oh shit, motherfucker. All right, I got a refund. I got to get this shit back. Like you start spiraling out of control. This is the mental aspect that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's the truth. I mean, it's what it is. Like that's what people strip club. Everybody's got their vice, Joey. That's the problem, is that losses like that are tough. Now, I've practically come to it now where I'm numb to it. I mean, my dad's the same. My dad's been a lot longer than I have. He's numb to it as well. Like what I'll do is if I even feel tempted to, maybe you guys could use this for help as well. Even if I feel tempted to bet, what I do is I completely defund all my accounts. I know it sounds silly. Like, oh my God, what if you have 4 or 5 grand tied up in 7 sports books? I don't give a shit. All of it out. Now, of course, I'm not going to take it all out and then move it into my bank accounts or whatever. But take it out, because when I take it out, it's fucking annoying to deposit that kind of money back into the banks, and then I'm done. Night's over. I'll regroup the next day. I'll refund everything the next day. It's no harm, no foul. You don't pay any transaction fees. It's all good. Just some neighborhood advice that I could give you to kind of help you avoid tilt. You already spent the winnings on a camp, girl. Yeah, that money's going to pay for someone else's health care, most likely. Yeah, imagine. Blackjack, JJ, how often should you cash out on an offshore website? So, Jonah, offshore is definitely, offshore withdrawals have always been a gray area, because, a lot of them, and that's why I didn't used to bet as much as often early on, offshore, like when I was in my early 20s. I used to really enjoy it, but I always had issues getting paid, because you'll have a guy call you. I'll give you the scenario. I'll give you what happens. You'll win. Let's say you go on a heater. You'll win 10K. Now, Chris, you're right. It's a little different now with Bitcoin. Bitcoin changed the game with regards to offshore. But offshore is here's what they'll tell you. Okay, yeah, you can deposit in seconds. You want to withdraw? We'll send you a money order. You can get it in 2 weeks, or we'll send you a check that won't get sent out for 3 days, and you'll probably receive it in 3 years or 4 years. And it's so slow that it made it so nauseating for me. Now, granted, it's so much different now. Obviously, it's legalized in Jersey, and it's going to be legalized in nearly every state. So you guys aren't going to deal with the issue if you're in the United States. At least you're not going to deal with it forever anyway. Yeah, you see, Ray, that's what I'm talking about. Bitcoin completely changed the game. My dad loves it. My dad loves the fact that that Bitcoin is so fast. How about this? Do you guys ever be honest? I gotta get a Bible out. I'll put my hand on the Bible. This is me putting my hand on the Bible. Actually, here for tonight, the Vaseline's the Bible. Putting my hand on the Vaseline on the Bible. Do you guys ever play in the online casinos? Awesome. Congrats that it's legal in Arkansas, bud. Oh, William Hill's awesome. Not proud, but yes. Stevie, here's the thing. And I said this in a video a while back. There's no end game. There's no end game in the online casino. Like, here's the thing. And I go to casinos often. I go to Atlantic City a ton. I go with my dad to Baltimore, Maryland a ton. Obviously, me and my dad go to Vegas. He goes, I swear to God, guys, he goes to Vegas 12, 13 times a year. I don't know how he figures it out with his wife, with his daughter. He goes 12, 13 times a year. I go with him once or twice. But there's no end game, right? Because when you go to a casino, you bring cash with you, right? Like you either bring, or maybe you're just somebody whose wallet's filled with moths and lint. But if you're a legitimate player, you're going to a casino, you're bringing in you're rolling in with we'll say 5,000, right? That's what you're doing. Richie, what's going on, bud? That's what you're doing. 5,000, right? So in your head, you're like, you know what? When I lose this 5K, it's all good. If I lose it, it's fine. Whatever. When you're in the online casino, okay, there is no end game. There's no end game at all. The end game is, here's the end game. The end game is a gigantic fist straight up your ass. That's the end game. Because you could win a lot of money in the casino, and in the online casino, yeah, Jerry, that's a good move. I like it. So you could win a lot of money in the online casino, and then you're just going to keep playing. You're just going to keep playing. You're not going to stop. Like, what's the end game? Let me ask you this. The guys that are in here that play in the online casino, what's your end game? Like, do you set yourself a threshold? Like, if I win $1,000, I'm going to stop. Or if I win $200, I'm going to stop. Or like, I'm just going to play for an hour, whatever I win or lose in that hour. For me, there's no, again, it's so different playing in a live casino. Because again, there's a whole psychology aspect to getting the chips. I know this sounds crazy, but I can promise you this is the case. There's almost like a psychology to collecting the chips, and I only play craps. Roulette's for pikers. I know a lot of people play roulette, but whatever. Blackjack, I know tons of people that play and count cards. That's fine. But Baccarat's a fun game as well. I hope you guys play Baccarat. A lot of the gooks play Baccarat. I have nothing against Asians. I want to be clear. Nothing against Asians. It was a joke. Relax. Dry up, people. A lot of Chinese people play Baccarat. They hide their drug money in Baccarat. But anyway, there's just a psychology aspect to grabbing the chips, putting them in your cart, or your little space in front of you, and you don't get that same type of mental feeling in the online casino. You just don't. And the fact that you don't leaves you constantly wanting more. So there's never like this whole, unless you somehow hit a crazy jackpot online, which is just silly. But there's no end game. And the people that just bury money away, like, what if you're a good sports bettor? You're just burying money in the online casino. It's just silly. And I can't even imagine what it's like to just play slots in the online casino and just like click, 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 click as the thing keeps going down. Like, Jesus, get some hobbies. Find a drug you like. Tommy, what'd I miss? It's a vortex. Lost 15K on crap. Wow. Let me ask you something, Tommy. Jesus, fucking agita. Let me ask you something, Tommy. When you play craps to lose that kind of money, are you a don't pass player? Or are you a pass line, pound the place bets, buy the 410? Or do you bet are you like a true degen? Like, you bet the hard ways, box cars, snake eyes. Are you one of those? Like, what's the style? Like, how do you, because I know I could lose 15,000 on a craps table in an hour. I could. I know I've seen my dad lose 90,000 probably in about, I want to say 25 minutes. I've also seen him win 350,000 in about 20 minutes. But I can promise you that with the way he plays, he's just constantly loading up, constantly betting, loading the place, the inside. Well, he actually bets outside. He bets the the 4, 5, 9, 10. But let me be clear something on you guys. I know this isn't a craps video, but I'll give you a quick insight. Craps is the only game you should be playing at casinos. Okay, you shouldn't. Or baccarat. It's one of the games that offers you the best edge in the casino. I use the word edge. You have the best advantage in craps versus all the other games, just based on the way the game is played. But like when you play craps the right way, you can roll up to a table, and within a half hour, depending on your betting style, how much you bought in for, but like you could literally like just win a tremendous amount of money in a short amount of time if you're just pounding the shit out of numbers. Like people like don't even believe it. Like when I tell them certain tables that I've been at and certain money that I've won playing craps. Now, granted, I know going in, I'll lose 7, 8 times out of 10. I know that going in. I'm going to show up to a table, 4,000 or 5,000. I'm going to lose 7 times, 8 times out of 10. But those 2 or 3 times that I win are going to make up well over those 7 times that I lost and then some. Because again, it's all about, you got to press the shit out of it. Grab your fucking balls, just throw them on the table. Like, take your pants off and just drop your dick right on the table. Because that's how you need to be playing that game. So we'll scroll out to see what Tommy was betting. So Tommy, optimist, so I'm going for. I'm pressing 1, taking 1. Okay, so you go up a unit and you take a unit. I got that clear? And you bet the hard ways. JJ, do you think the live dealer is rigged? I played on Bovada sometimes. Let me tell you something, Jonah. I can't play. Like, I'll do online poker. I can't do the online. And I used to play a lot of online poker. I mean, a shitload of online poker. Specifically Hold'em. I know a lot of people play a bunch of different games, but I only Hold'em. I just can't get behind the whole sports book. I mean, the casino online in any aspect. Like, I know you're referencing just roulette. So I think it's rigged. I don't think it's rigged at all because there's a lot of legality things that could happen to these companies if it was. But I do believe it's just, for me, again, it's a whole gratifying thing. You're not going to find anything gratifying behind anything at the online casino. Because again, when you're doing something like that, is it just to burn time? Like, I'm just trying to understand the logic. Like, if you're at the online casino, you can't really be there thinking you're going to make money. Like, that's like, the whole reason for actually going to a casino. Go back to which statement, Richie? Bobby Digital. Let's get the sports brain, the sharp money talk. What will happen to them? You talking online casinos, the legality of it? I mean, like if it was proven that on their back end they were doing something funky with the payouts. Like, I'm not talking like I can't sit here and tell you that your local authorities will be going offshore to arrest these people. But if somehow some constructs on their back end was invalid or impartial, where it wasn't being paid, it wasn't being calculated properly. Now, granted, they could probably be corrupt for years. No one would ever detect it. But if it's somehow if there was ever something in their system that got corrupt, they'd have to pay. They'd have to eat something for it. So that's why for me, I can't back the whole online casino thing. It's just not for me. I take once and press. I don't blame you, Jerry. That's a pretty popular way. Pay people back, they would run and we'd never see them. Exactly, Jonathan. I think that that's a lot of what you'll see. That's a lot of what you would see. But again, for them to get caught, it'd be practically fucking impossible. Does one company do their live stream? I'm not sure what that. What's your style when you play craps? So basically, my dad bets the outside. What I do is not so much complicated, but I'll follow the point. And what I mean by that is, I'll do this quick because I know people came here for sports betting. Here I am talking craps. I'll throw the pass line. I'll put max odds behind the pass line. Every table's different. Some casinos will even offer you 10 times. Most of them offer you 3, 4, 5 odds. I'll put the max, whatever it is, because again, it's a free vig bet. So it'd be silly not to. And then let's say the point's 5. Okay. I follow the point. So what that means is I'll call it a unit. It'll be about $100. $100 on the 4. I'll buy the 4 for $100. Be $120 on the 6. And then I'll bet the 5's match number, which is the 9, for $100. So I'll have my money on the pass line. I'll have, and the point's 5. I'll bet the 4, the 6, the numbers that surround the 5, and then I'll bet the 5's match number is the 9. Now, I've had people ask me, well, why would you bet like that? Well, because for people that play craps, we all know the exacts, right? So I feel like whenever you're playing craps, it's always like, and my dad taught me this himself, but like whenever you're watching the dice, it's always like the number always feels like it's like 1 or 2 away from the number, right? Like if the number is 6 or the number's, let's say the number's 9, right? You end up seeing a bunch of 10s, a bunch of 8s. Now, granted, short term, fine, sure, anything can happen. But like over the course of time, you just kind of like, oh, we were 1 away. Oh, we were so close. Oh, that dice was on the 5 and it became an 8. Oh, it's on 10. Oh, we always had the 9. Oh, you always, exactly, Aaron. You always surround the point. And for me, I like to bet it's match number because again, it pays the same odds. So for me, that's typically the way I like to do it. All right, so I know that we got a little off track. I know that most of you guys DGen anyway, so I'm sure it was cool with a bunch of you. Sports betting tomorrow. Let's briefly talk some plays here. Definitely stretched a little longer. The wife's already asleep, so no sex for JJ. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Really helping my cause here. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. I want to give away a secret, but in capping ball, what's the most important thing to you? Advanced stats. I remember one of your past videos. He said pitchers who contain heart of lineups. Wife in bed, and I'm here with you guys. Yeah, exactly, Richie. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? I'm here with this poster behind me. I'm here with this big ass microphone. To me, Bobby, the most important. I mean, here's the thing. I don't overvalue certain stats in baseball. To me, Sierra is a really important stat. It's up there. For me, like line drive rate's important for hitters specifically. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Mike. Yep. No doubt. I was definitely going to probably whack off in this room here. But for me, the most important stat is got to be Sierra for pitchers. It's line drive rate for hitters. I'm trying to think. Obviously, FIP-X, FIP are important. For me, left on base is important for a pitcher. These are just certain numbers that I like. I'm not a type of guy that's going to look at a bunch of numbers like from all over the place and just, try to plug them in where I could. You can't overcomplicate sports betting. I mean, you got to kind of find what are the important numbers, what are the numbers that really matter. I think that umpires matter a lot. Like I know that I mention this from time to time, and sometimes you can get this data in advance, sometimes you can't. The umpire matters a lot. The strike zones of umpires is so critical. I mean, StatFox will put out the umpires, but I also tell you this: if there's a 4-game series, okay, there's a 4-game series, game 4 of the series, okay, is going to be the only ump in almost all cases. Is going to be the ump that did not ump the first 3 games. Okay, all these umps there's 4 of them that travel into these games. They typically rotate, and the 4th game is going to be that 4th ump. So the games like that where it's the 4th game of a series, you typically don't have much suspense there. The umpire is going to be the lone umpire who didn't ump the first game. Now the reason why he wouldn't ump that game would be like, if he got gonorrhea the night before, or he was in some red room in the city, and he got choked to death. But either way, it's gonna be that 4th guy. So you can always expect that. But when StatFox releases the umps matter. I wouldn't say they over matter. Like I wouldn't like. Here's the thing: I can't like if you're looking at a game and you're like, this is an over, no brainer, definitely an over bet, right? And then you look at the umpire, and the umpire is really an under umpire. Like, is that like a big strike zone? Like, it doesn't because the game doesn't become an under. Like you can't make that swing, okay? But you can maybe leverage it back. Like maybe this guy umping the game because of how severe of an under umpire he is, or how big his strike zone is. Maybe that's worth half a run. It's not going to be worth like 2 runs or like 1 run. Now I know there's a bunch of umps that people hate. Angel Hernandez, I think is one of them. Is that his name? I think it's Angel Hernandez. He's a prick. But again, you can't overvalue umps. So if I'm talking the whole process, umps are important. They're not like crazy important. Like where they alone decide a game. For me, streaks are big too. Obviously, teams that are hitting well, the books don't always adjust to it. So you always got to take that into consideration. Look at the Mariners the other night, right? Like the Mariners going to that spot against Davies as plus. I think they close at like plus 165, some shit like that. And meanwhile, they're hitting, and they're playing a pitcher who can't pitch. Oh, Joe West, god awful. Joe West needs to retire and just play golf or just wolf down hoagies. Joe West looks like Joe West looks like his diet is filled with 100% carbohydrates. He looks like he's just like kind of like chilling at the Dunkin' Donuts after every game, just kind of plowing down like a dozen donuts like it's nothing. Definitely a Boston cream guy. He's the worst. But either way, so like I said, umpires are important. But I don't, like I said, to answer the original question, I know I kind of went off there. I don't overvalue one stat in particular. I use a bunch of them, but I don't obsess over it and use like everything. Because again, it's too much information. What you'll find yourself doing is you'll find so much information to bet a game, and then you'll find so much information to not bet a game. And granted, it all is helpful and relevant, but you can't over dramatize it. Speaking of over dramatize it, whoever is in this chat right now and ends up crying about their losses when they come, do yourself a favor. Stop doing it. Not going to help. Not going to help the cause. Be more calculated, less emotional. Losses are going to happen. Hitting the juice today. I'll tell you what. My dad makes a lot of fun of me about it. Like, I don't talk about it much in these videos. I do a decent amount to stay in pretty good shape. I'm not as good shape as my wife. Again, she wakes up at like 4:30 a.m. to go to the gym. She's fucking wild. I think she goes to a gym in like a cult. It's like this all women's gym. Definitely some type of sex cult. They're probably all a bunch of bulldaggers, just kind of, living life she's working out from 4:30 to 6:30 every morning. But no, it's look, I spend a lot. To me, it's all diet. I know that I get a lot of jokes from my dad, but for me, it's all diet. I'm I eat very clean. That's really. I'm not gonna talk much about it because it's nonsense. But I eat very clean. That's more or less what it is. But every once in a while, you gotta hit up those horse steroids. Schwarzenegger did it. Worked for him like a fucking charm. What do you win? 8 Mr. Olympias. Okay, so tomorrow's slate. Let's give a game quick. Before I do, have you guys looked at any of the games yourselves? What are some games you like or don't like for tomorrow? I saw somebody say earlier, Turnbull as a dog, not a bad idea, but keep in mind Detroit just sucks. I mean, I get it. I get that there could be some value there because Turnbull's good, but I'll tell you what, that pitcher going for Texas, Gerardo's pretty good too. Not bad. Jesus, fucking Ajita. So I'm going to be interested on what that Atlanta-Chicago line is going to be. I'm not seeing a pitcher there yet. Obviously, that Mutt Chatwood's there, but I'm interested to see what that line's going to be. A lot of thick lines tomorrow, which is interesting. I find that pretty. I mean, just a lot of like overinflated lines. Like even Canning's -150 against Oakland. And Mike Leake fucking sucks. Houston's a big favorite tomorrow. Noah's not a bad idea because look, people love Wheeler and people are going to find value or potential value in Wheeler. But I got to be honest, like when Noah begins to turn it on this season, you know for a fact, like once he begins to really polish himself off and go, figure out whatever's been going on with him, like he's going to go like 4 or 5 straight starts where he goes like 7, 8 innings, 2 earned, kind of like what Scherzer just did over his last 4 or 5 games, just kind of wild. Bobby, like the back and forth between me and my dad. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like when I'm with him, it's the same thing. Like anybody around me will tell you. Like my wife will tell you. Obviously she's not here to defend it, but she'll tell you. Like when I'm with him, like me and him, it's just the shots back and forth. It's just our personalities. Like it's just how we are. I grew up with a lot of tough skin in that regard because of that. So that's what you're seeing on these channels with the way we talk. That's how we are. We're from Jersey. He doesn't live in Jersey anymore because he's a prick. He's probably scared of Jersey. He says he gets heart palpitations now when he comes back to Jersey. Probably all those good memories he has. But it's also the fact that he has to see my grandma who shits herself 3-4 times a week. Telling you Marlins money line. Nice with Alcantara. I almost took Chai Sox today. Couldn't pull the trigger. They're huge. Scared me. You or your dad do golf bets. I got to be honest. We both aren't big golf guys. He'll do the occasional golf bets. Because you know what it is? I think I could be wrong here. I think he has a guy that he uses for golf. I got to be honest. I don't know for a fact. He doesn't. Again, I know for a fact he doesn't tout golf himself. Like he doesn't talk to me about golf. But I know he bets golf from time to time, and I think it's because he has a guy that he deals with for golf. Who that is, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's the boogeyman. kind of want to take a shot with the Rockies lefty to go up against Bueller. Is that tomorrow or is that tonight, the Bueller game? That's tomorrow. Wow. You know what it is, though? That kid Lambert, he's a fucking mutt. Oh, man. Like, I'm not saying there's not at least a little bit of value. I mean, you're basically laying – you have to lay – Jesus, you have to lay 210 with Bueller on the road. I'm not saying there wouldn't be value there with Lambert, but, man, is he a mutt. Wouldn't mind maybe plus 1.5 at dog value. You still get a dog price. At that price, you still get a plus 1.5 at dog money. Brewers are broken right now. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely struggling, but I tell you what, tomorrow against Leak, yikes. Leak sucks. So let's see. You know what it is? There's not the games I would have wanted to bet. Like I got to be honest, guys. I wanted to bet the Cubs game, which is at 220. I felt like, depending on what the line would have been, I felt like it would have been a decent opening overplay because I feel like, again, it depends on the wind, but you have to, that's the thing with Wrigley. Like you have to attack the lines right at open with the wind in Wrigley. Because just Chatwood's a mutt. I don't know who's pitching for Atlanta yet. It's still undecided. Unless you guys know. Do you guys know who's pitching for Atlanta? Your dad do golf bets. Twins and Cubs locked in. So I'm trying to think here. Let me see. What up, Chris? Wilson's going for the Braves. Is that who it is? Let me see if I can pull this up here. I need fucking sleep. I'm hocked up on like espressos and like an ounce of cocaine. I need fucking sleep. Hold on a second. I'm just kidding. I don't do cocaine. Only when it's my birthday. Let me see. 210. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, 2 months. I can't. You know what's funny? I can't believe Chatwood's ERA is 3.69. God, is he awful. God, is he awful. I got to be honest. I'll have to see what the line comes out at. There may be decent value. 60 slow pitch softball. I play in about 7-8 leagues a year. Every Sunday morning is basically softball season for me all year round. I try to play in a bunch of weeknight leagues. It's tough to get enough people to commit to weeknights. But yeah, I play a lot of slow pitch softball. Yeah, 100%, Aaron. Peace for everyone. Chatwood was working that bullpen. Like I said, for me, there's probably going to be some value playing the Braves tomorrow against Chatwood. You'll probably be able to wait on it and get a better line because people look at that ERA Wilson and just assume. But I'll tell you what, I don't know what I'd have to look at the advanced numbers to give you the exacts. But Chatwood's advanced numbers are shit. And I can't imagine Wilson's advanced numbers could be that much worse than 8.31. See if I can pull it up real quick. Wilson pretty solid, yeah. You ever played in Chicago? No, I haven't. Wilson. Fucks. See if I can pull this guy's advanced numbers real quick. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, FIP 7.1, XFIP 5.9. Jesus. 4 innings, a bunch of runs. What's his Sierra? By the way, guys, I use Fangraphs a lot. I know that you guys know this, but I'm just letting you know. You guys need to be using Fangraphs often, especially for sports bets. I just like the yeah, exactly. You know, kid in his first start last year went 5 scoreless. You talking about Bryce Wilson, Stevie? Ballpark stories. So I was in Seattle last year. Don't have a story to tell about that. I was in Baltimore 2 years ago. I went to a game with my dad. We also went to a Nats game. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. I went to a Yankee game earlier this year. I haven't gone to a Mets game this year. I have been to their new stadium though. But I'm trying to think. I have no stories. I'm usually on my best behavior at those games. I'm trying not to get myself into trouble in public places like that. But I think I've been to. I'm trying to think. 5, 6. So I've been to. If you include old stadiums that got knocked down, I've been to 8 or 9 different stadiums. 8 or 9. Yeah, about 8 or 9 different stadiums. How do you feel about no score in first inning props? You look for value in those. I mentioned that a little earlier, Aaron. There's to me, there's a little too much variance in those first inning bets. But don't get me wrong, value is value. My dad bets a ton of those first inning bets. Like I said, for me, it's just I'm a little more calculated. To me, it's very quick. And don't get me wrong, it's a good feeling, but when you win it, but it kind of sucks when you lose it. So for me, I don't do them nearly as often as my dad. I do them occasionally. If I had to give you an estimate, it's got to be one I really like, and it's probably like twice a month that I bet a first inning bet. Exactly. It's very very coin flippy. Good one. I like that. Can you explain the pros cons of live betting late in games? So live betting late in games, like when you say late, like you mean like the 8th inning if it's a tie game late, or you mean like you want to hedge backwards on a bet late? Like, what do you specifically mean? Richie, on that, like the first inning is so streaky. And you know what? It's not even just streaky with like teams. It's streaky with pitchers. Like, I forgot who it was last year. It might have been the one my dad was talking about. It was a Nationals pitcher. Might have been, no, it wasn't Sanchez. It was whenever he pitched, it was a run in the first inning. It was like automatic. Which is just crazy. And you'll see it all the time. It happened. Might have been Rourke. He sucks. Like last minute. So, John, here's the thing. I'm more like Cadillac John. Cadillac John, I like it. Must drive a caddy. For me, it's more of a coin flip if you do it late. Like if you have no money invested in a game and then you just decide to kind of throw money late on a game. For shits and giggles. Again, look, you want to kind of degen it out. I mean, who am I to judge? But there's not typically a lot of value. For me, if you're going to live bet baseball, the way to do it is really as a reverse hedge after you already have money invested. Like there's certain sports that make sense. Like for instance, NBA, you should really never be betting NBA before the games start. You should be live betting NBA. I mean, bottom line, like it's different than baseball. Like baseball, you should be pre-game betting baseball. And then if you want to live hedge against yourself to make money back, fine. NBA, with how many runs there are, it's very rare that a team goes wire to wire with a victory in NBA because the game is just built with so many runs in it. It's best to live bet NBA instead of bet pregame. Football's a little different. You know, football's a whole different animal, which I'll do separate videos on. Musgrove showcasing his value. Musgrove, yeah. I tell you what, there's been a lot of questionable trades. I mean, I think it was it Tatis? Tatis for the Padres was traded for James Shields. Do I have that right? I think so. It's kind of crazy. Kid's unbelievable. Oh, well, you know, tennis, live betting tennis is crazy because, you know, like once you especially on the women's side where they get those hormones going and they just like, some of them are crazy. I mean, it's fun to watch, but, you know, and on the men's side too, like the men, like you could just tell like guys like that are really irrational, like Pear, Verdasco, guys that just kind of can't mentally sustain himself. Or how about Nick Kyrgios, favorite tennis player by far? That guy just cannot control himself. Yeah, but you see what I'm talking about. Like Pear loses his shit. Fognini's so much fun to watch. He's one of my favorite players. Oh yeah, a ton of live betting. It's crazy how much fun that can be. Fognini's awesome. The guy's a complete head case. Okay, so to give you, you know, it's the part that sucks is I don't want to force a play on you guys. Here's what I'll do. Give me till tomorrow morning to give you one play for tomorrow because I don't want to. There's a few lines here that I know if I give it to you, you might be thinking to bet it and you'll be able to get a better number. I know you will. So I'll post in the community chat on the channel here, and I'll also post on my Twitter for a baseball play tomorrow. I'll also, for the people that were on this video, let me give you let me comp you a tennis play from my dad here because you guys have been great. Give me a second here. I'll give you one play from him for tomorrow, or from him for tomorrow. How early you guys wake up? You want a really early one? Sabalenka. Well, I'll tell you what, before I give you this pick, Richie, there's 3 women that I struggle severely with to consistently bet. Sabalenka, Sloane Stephens, and Madison Keys, the chick with the buck teeth. Those 3, holy shit. You want to talk about sweats. Like, there is no three women in tennis that win the first set 6-2, 6-3, fucking cruise control. They'll go up a double break in the second set. And then I don't know what happens. I don't know if like they just shift down to first gear or like if their menstrual cycle starting to hit. Those three women in particular, Jesus Christ, I don't bet their matches anymore. Look, I love them. They're tremendous tennis players. I think all three of them are in the top 10, right? I know Keys is. I know Sloane Stevens is. Is Sabalenka in the top 10? Sabalenka might be 12. Maybe 12? Either way, I don't bet their matches anymore. I can't do it. I don't care if the numbers make sense. I won't bet against them. I won't bet for them. They're awful. Oh yeah, look, Kiki Bertens is awesome. And so is Barty. I mean, Barty just took over the number 1 ranking, which is awesome. She's been incredible. Okay, so the idea of waking up to money. Now, okay, I'll give you a play. Now, we've backed Kerber quite a bit. I know I gave you a Kerber play the other day. But you see, Kerber's playing great on grass. The Pops likes Halep tomorrow. Now, I don't know what the line is right now. I could probably pull it up. But Halep's the better player. Okay, so what's kind of happened here is Kerber's been playing so well that kind of like the market's now made a shift for Kerber. Look, there's no reason Halep should only be -120 in this spot. Halep's so much of a better player. The problem with Halep is she's a little bit feisty too. She can kind of mentally check out as well. But let me see if I can find the line here. Anybody have the line right now on the current line on Kerber? Halep's -120. So Halep would be -108. To me, he liked him all the way. He liked her all the way at 120. So to me, Halep's the bet. What time does that match start? I think that match starts. I got the schedule here. Or I had the schedule up. Hold on. Let me see. Halep is, where is it? Fuck is Halep? You know what it is too? Like the matches start and they always get like moved back. Okay, so 7:30. So pending that 6 a.m. game between Cornet with Cornet, it'll probably start at 7:30. So 7:30 Eastern. So yeah, Halep's the play. So that I mean he gave out a bunch of plays. But I'll give you that one freebie. He's on Halep tomorrow. So go ahead, shoot for the stars with him there. And again, I will give you my play tomorrow morning for baseball for the slate. Again, for me, just so you know, before I even go into it, I'm more or less going to be looking at the Braves money line tomorrow against Chatwood. We backed Chatwood in his last start, and I know it shows you kind of the diversity, that I like to do. I'm not like a guy that just kind of continues to ride the same guys. I mean, look, I understand when we get a win that maybe was a little bit rough, that it's time to kind of flip the switch. So for me, depending on what the line's going to be, and if I, gun to my head, I got to assume the Cubs are going to be like behind Chatwood, like maybe -130, -125, -120, something like that. So for me, there's going to be value on playing the Braves as a small dog tomorrow. I know the game's at 2:00, so I assume that line's going to come out probably while we're sleeping. But again, I'll confirm it. I don't want to say it's a play yet because I don't know for sure. I have to, look at the numbers and get back to you guys. But again, more or less, the play I'm going to be looking at is the Braves tomorrow as a dog against the Cubs. But other than that, if that doesn't work out, there's a few others that I have my eye on that I just want the line to move a bit more to get favorable for you guys before that happens. Okay, so closing out here, any last questions for me before we end this? I know this one a lot longer than I expected to go, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll try to do these weekly for you. But they're going to probably going to be shorter than this. But this was the first one, so definitely want to keep this trend going. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. But let me see if any last minute questions before I go. Thanks for Tennis Pick. Now you're going to get a thumbs up from your. That's from me. Hey, JJ, thanks for the added content. You must be working nonstop, but nice to see you making moves. Super awesome. Thanks, Cadillac John. Appreciate it. We're in Jersey. I'm from North Jersey. Wayne. Thanks, JJ. Thanks for the vid. Read up. No. Leroy, just to be clear, I need to see the line. There's no line on that game, Leroy, so I can't confirm the plays the Braves. But what I said to everybody was check when you log in tomorrow, probably like 9 o'clock, whatever, 9 a.m. in the morning. I'll have the play posted on the community on YouTube or along with my Twitter as well. But again, I'm not going to post the Hallop play on my Twitter. The Hallop play is for you guys that came on here and watched and listened. So, but Hallop wasn't mine. I don't want to take credit for it if it wins. That's my dad. So also he grabbed the win with Minor, so he's going to be talking a lot of shit in his next video, which is fine. It's whatever. That's what he does. Tony Soprano's son, yeah. Other than that, though, again, Manarino versus San Gig. I don't like to bet Sonego's matches. Guy's a little too tough to predict for me. And Manarino's a bit of a head case himself. So that's going to be kind of whoever can control their emotions more. But that's why I'm going to be a stay away spot for me. But I wish you guys the best of luck, however you bet it there. Favorite player when you were a kid, without a question, Alex Rodriguez. For me, the guy should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's a crying shame that he's not going to be in it. And it also kind of hurts me when anybody gets asked who the best player of all time in baseball was, and they don't answer Barry Bonds. Like, how is Barry Bonds not the greatest player that's ever played the game? Have you seen his numbers? Did you watch him live? Did you watch him live? I mean, Jesus. Barry Bonds, what was his OPS in was it 2004? Wasn't his OPS like 1,300? It's fucking video game numbers. Video game numbers. Babe Ruth, yeah. Let Babe Ruth look at a 94-mile-an-hour slider. That fat fuck. But again, all right, guys. Want to thank you all for joining this. This was fun. I'll post this on the channel so I guess people can watch it afterwards, or I'll try to figure it out. This shit's complicated as shit. But again, thanks again. We'll do another live video next week, and I will catch you guys soon. Have a good one.